My first tutorial on creating a Homeworld Style Space RTS for Unreal 4. So the first thing I've done is created a new project, and I've just imported some models. You can find these models in the links provided. Other than that, the project is bare bones. You can just click here to show your folders. So the first thing we're going to do is set our inputs for our main pawn that's going to move around so we can order things around. So we'll go to our input, go to axis mappings, and we'll add 4. The first will be move forward. The second will be move right. Third will be move up. And the last will be turn right. And now we're just going to type L bracket Y, so we get the motion controller, the left one, the Y axis of the thumbstick. We'll do the same thing for move right with the X axis, so we'll type L bracket X. And then we'll do the same thing here with the other stick. For move up, we'll do R bracket Y. And we're actually going to set move forward to -1 and move up to -1 because those axes are inverted axis. So move for turn right, we're going to do R bracket X for the thumbstick X axis on the right motion controller. And then we'll close that. We'll go to our content folders, hit new folder, call it blueprints. We'll name this player, and we'll just save. We're going to need to make a new folder, and we'll call it maps, and we'll call our new map test level. It's the map we're currently on. For player, we'll go into that folder, we'll create a new blueprint asset, and it'll be a pawn. We're going to call it player pawn, we'll just call it pawn space RTS. We'll go inside there, go to the event graph, just delete everything that's there, do move forward, and we're going to check if this is not equal to 0. So if the player has input in the move forward axis, it's not equal to 0. We're going to do add actor local offset, and we'll split the delta location, or the delta location there, vector, so that we can get these, because we just want the x-axis for move forward. And we're going to multiply the move forward axis by a variable we'll create, and we'll call it forward speed. And we'll set this just to a default of 50, I suppose. We'll connect this to the x-axis. Now we're going to copy and paste that, but we're going to do move right. That works for move left as well because it goes negative. We'll just connect these pins, and we'll hold control and drag this to the delta location Y. So we'll call this strafing, forward reverse movement, and we're going to paste again, and we're going to get move up, connect these, and we'll drag this down to Z, comment this, vertical movement, and then finally turn right, get this, it's not equal to 0, so if the player is turning right, we're going to add local rotation. We'll split this because we just want yaw, and we don't want this to turn as much, so we're going to get the forward speed, and we're going to divide it by 5 because we're lazy, and we'll connect that, Now by default this will trigger very easily, the move up vertical movement, and we don't want it to trigger so easily, so we want this to actually, we're going to get rid of this. We're going to do greater than 0.4, we're going to do less than -0.4, and we're going to do or, and then if that's true. So if the player is pushing heavily on the joystick in the up or down direction, they'll move up and down on the right stick. So we'll compile and save that. Now we need to set up our game mode, so we actually spawn with our pawn here. So we'll do our blueprint class, game mode base, call it GM Space RTS game mode, and we'll set our default pawn to the pawn we created, compile and save, and then we're going to go into our world settings. If you don't have that window, go to window at the top left here and go to world settings. So in the world settings, we'll set our game mode to GM Space RTS game mode, save, and now I'm just going to switch to VR and test this out. We should be able to move and look at our ship. Just go through the Oculus login. Looks like our turning isn't right, so we'll have to fix that, but other than that, it's good. Might have used the wrong axis or something like that. Oh, we didn't add a camera, that's the problem. Okay, so we need to go add a camera. So load up our pawn, go to add component, add camera. I think this should be the problem. Compile and save. Now we'll test this out. I'll just test it out by putting my finger over the sensor. See if we have turning. Yep, we have turning now. And then we can move up and back, left and right. Awesome. Okay, so next we'll add in making this ship an actual ship class, and then we can go on towards making it so we can order ships around. So what we'll do is we'll make a new folder. As soon as I get my glasses back on. Make a new folder in the blueprints folder, and we'll call it ships. Make a new blueprint class and call it, it'll be a pawn, call it base ship, and oh, excuse me, apologize for that. And in our base ship, which if I can find where it opened, seriously, where did it open? Okay. We're going to add a static mesh, and we're going to name it ship mesh, compile and save, and off screen I'm just going to load up my other project that I have so I can quickly do this without you guys noticing, other than me telling you. Okay, and that's just so I don't make any mistakes. But what we're going to do is we're basically going to make it so that our main pawn that we are playing with, and I'll just set it to spawn behind our ship here, the player spawn. We're going to make it so it can point at ships, select them, and then point at another location and order the ship to move there. So we're going to build a system for selecting ships, and then we'll build the ship for ordering them, and then we'll build a system for ships to actually move. So selecting ships first. We'll go into our pawn, and we'll make a new variable. We'll call it selected ships, and we'll make it a class base ship. And we'll make it no, it doesn't need to be editable. It will be a array though. Selected ships. So now what we're going to do is, how do we want to do this? Okay, so first we need to actually add the motion controllers to the pawn. So we'll do that. We'll add motion controller. We'll call this one left motion controller, left motion controller. We'll add another motion controller, and this will be right motion controller. And these will be attached to the root, I believe, not the camera. Can't remember. It might be the camera. We'll check in a minute. We'll change this hand to right, of course. And then we're going to see what our grip is. So grip for left and grip for right. Grip 1. No, sorry, we want cap touch. Yes, pointing cap touch is what we want for left. So we'll do selecting event. Yes, event pointing, and do Oculus touch, left pointing cap touch. There we go. Okay, so if this is greater than 0, we're actually going to set it to 0.1 because sometimes you can like graze it with your finger. So that means we're touching. Sorry, if we're pointing. And we're going to get our selected ships. Get 0 is valid. So we're going to see if we have any ships already selected. If we do, we don't want to necessarily run our code. We'll see about that later. Might come down to some play testing to figure out what works good for controlling, but for now that's what we'll do. And then we'll let me just check something real quick here. Alright. Okay, that's actually not what we want. I apologize. We're going to do another branch by holding B and clicking, promote to variable, and we're going to do is selecting is what we want. So we're going to see if we're in selection mode. If we're not in selection mode, you know what, I don't know if I want to do it this way necessarily. Yes, we will. Okay. So we're just going to do a line trace by channel. We will use this later, so we'll just move this stuff out of the way. Okay, so yeah, we'll do that. We'll get the left motion controller, get world location. And we're going to also add a, yes, we're going to add a component, and it will be a sphere. And this will be our selection sphere. So basically, let me explain what we're going to do here. We're going to make it so that when you're pointing without any ship selected, or when you're in selecting mode, with your pointing with the left stick, you can you move the selection sphere there. When you hold the grip, the selection sphere increases in size, and then you can press a button, or press the trigger rather, to select all ships in that selection sphere. And then you use the right motion controller to order them to move or to attack location or whatever. So we're going to make it so that this moves to where you're pointing, and you can increase the distance by holding buttons. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll get world location, because we want it to end where this already is. And we're also going to have another variable, and it's going to be a float. And it's going to be called selection distance. This is the distance at which the oops, not an array. This is the distance at which the sphere will be pushed back. So we're going to set that. No, you know what? We're not going to set that there. We're going to use buttons to do it instead. Because I don't like using pointing to do it, I don't think. Because then you can't. Yeah, okay. So we're going to use buttons. L face button 1. L face button 2. So if in selecting mode and this button is pressed, then we're going to get selection distance, and we're going to add, and we'll add, I don't know, 20, no, space is pretty big, so I'll add 50, and we'll set the selection distance to that after we clamp it. Float 0 and, I don't know, 15,000. It's pretty good. It's going to take you a while to get there. And then we're going to do the same thing here. except we're going to make this a minus. Alright, so now the grip will be how you increase the size of the sphere. So sorry, I'm just checking what I want to do here. Okay, yeah. So we're going to do a tick event. And we'll do a sequence off the tick. This is getting a bit messy, so let me just tidy this up. I'm also going to reverse these because I think face button 2 is further away, which makes sense to increase the distance, whereas face button 1 is closer. So decrease selection distance. I guess we don't need to adjust the size quite yet. We can just make sure we can have selecting ships in first. We might as well do it while we're here. So we'll do a gate. And we'll open and close this gate depending on whether the grip is pressed or released. And then we're just going to get the selection sphere and do set world scale 3D. And we're going to do multiply that by a float. And we'll do 1.05, I suppose. And we'll do get world scale. So this is going to get the selection sphere and increase the size, or how do we want to do decreasing the size? I forget how I did that. I guess we'll do cap touch. Does grip have cap touch? Grip cap. Can't remember if grip has cap touch. Might have to change how we do that because there might not be a way to decrease the size. No, this grip released, so. And there's press, so it must have cap touch. Is there no grip cap touch? Well, this will be good enough for now. We'll figure it out with a button or something later. Alright, so now we'll get our yeah, we need a bool off this if we're selecting. And to get the bool, how do we want to do that? I guess we'll do trigger on the left thing. That makes sense. Do we really need this for doing it differently? Yeah, we do. Of course we do. We need to set the location. Alright. So we'll do left trigger, motion controller, left bracket trigger. And we'll need a get first, I guess. I guess we'll do it right. Yeah. And we'll do set. Or I guess we could do an is valid on our ships. Yeah, let's do that. Use valid index 0. It's fine. So we'll see if we have any ships, and if we do and we press the selection thing, then we want to clear this. If we don't have any ships currently selected, then we want to check if we're currently selecting. If we are, then we want to run our selection function, which we'll create. Ships in the sphere. But we will do the rest first. If we're not selecting and we held the trigger, we'll set it to true. Alright, so now we'll do select ships in sphere. First we're going to need to set this back to false. Right? Yeah. Have we set it to true yet? Yeah, we've set. If it's false, we set it to true. And then, right, so we hold the trigger if we don't have, okay, right, so this makes sense. So we press the button if we don't have any ships. If we do have ships selected, we clear them. If we don't have any ships selected, and we are selecting, we do this. If we're not selecting, well, we could put is selecting up the pointing. Yeah. Oops. We'll do both, I guess. Yeah, we'll do both. So you can press the trigger to start selecting or just point to start selecting. I think that's fine. I don't think they'll have any conflicts. So now we need to do this. So we'll drag in our selection sphere. We'll get overlapping actors. And our class filter will be base ship. And we'll do 4 each. And the first thing we'll do actually is clear selected ships. Should already be clear, but just to make sure, clear that, and then we'll do add. I guess we can just do set. Yeah, that's fine. We'll do so. I guess we need to cast, which means we do need to add. Fine, fine, fine. Cast to base ship. Surprised it doesn't already do that, but it's Unreal for you, I guess. Doesn't do everything for you. Oh my, what is that? New version. Alright, so we'll add our ships to our selected ships. And we will do selecting complete. Okay, and what do we have down here? Event tick, right, to increase the size of that. So how do we want to decrease the size of that? We need a way to decrease the size of that. Oh, I know what we'll do. We'll get the right grip. And if we are selecting, and the selected ships is no valid indexes, might be redundant, but just to make sure, we will open this gate, and we'll close this gate. I guess that'll always close. It's fine. Okay, so yeah. So the left grip will increase the size. It kind of feels like it should be the other way around, but you're pointing with the left grip, so it's a little awkward, but we'll see. We'll get it right. Just so we have a way for now. Can you clamp vector? It's not. Whoops, that's not what I want. What I'm going to do is split the stroke pin. can't remember why I'm doing this now, but it's fine. Anyway, I am the worst streamer ever. It's my first one, give me a break. Event tick. Okay, so we should be good for that. If we're not selecting, and well, we won't worry about that quite yet because we don't have moving in yet. So we'll worry about this. So we're going to actually create a blueprint interface so we can tell ships easily that we communicate with them. Gonna add some functions selected, another function deselected, and I guess a new one, why not? Move to location. Go to toolbar, don't need you. So we'll do this, and we'll do selected message, it's fine, we'll just have to add the interface. So this will tell the ship that it's selected. Oh, right, because we need to add the interface. I just said that. Come on. What did we name it? Oh my god, ship interface. We named it ship? Wow, very descriptive. We're going to go back and rename that ship interface. Okay. So now we can do event selected. We'll just add some, we'll add a mesh here so we can see just a ship. We'll have, it's our base ship, so it can just be this little dude. Alright, we also need, do we want physics? No, we don't want physics. Unless we wanted bouncing. No, we don't want that. I don't think we want that. I think we just want offset. Okay. So this is good. No simulate gravity though. We don't want that. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so we'll add a sphere. We'll decrease its size. And can we change its color so we can see it easier? Yes, we can. That's not going to be easier to see. I guess red is pretty good. Whatever, it'll be some weird annoying green color. Okay. I guess green for friendly. This is just so we know that the ship is selected. So this should be set to visible and hidden in game, so we'll change that from hidden in game. Set hidden in game to false. Event deselected. We'll set hidden in game to true. Now we'll create a child and we'll name it just so we have a cool ship, drone, carrier, because I want to order cool ships around, not crappy ones. This one isn't crappy, it's a drone for the drone carrier, so we'll use the drone carrier hull. Carrier hull, yeah, right. We'll increase the scale of the sphere so we can see it on this guy. I guess a capsule would have been better, whatever. Doesn't need to be perfect yet. Okay, so that'll be fine. I guess we'll go back to our player pawn and we'll do the deselect function. So how do we want to do that? See how I did it before, so I can see if I like that. I guess the left trigger when there's not selecting, right? Right, so here. Spending all this time looking at what I'm doing when I did it. Okay, fine. Forget that. We're gonna do, yeah, we'll do deselect. So guess we can't do that. We'll do for each loop. We'll do deselect. So that should deselect all of our ships. So let's go test this in VR now and see what our problems are and what we did wrong, which is probably everything. And so we'll add some drones as well, so we'll get rid of this. So we'll add some stuff we can select. We won't have moving around yet, but we'll get there. Okay, so let's test this out in VR. I didn't enable debugging, so that's kind of a problem. Yep, that's a big problem. I can't see what I'm doing. At least I can look around. Ships are cool. Alright. Okay, so let's turn on debugging. Oh, this was also a mesh, not even the right friggin' thing. And the sphere is probably also going to trigger the overlap, which is maybe not a bad thing. Maybe it kind of is. Let's reduce the size of it for this one. It doesn't need to be out like that. It can just be kind of like that. Right? That's good. Let's see what its default collision is, just so we know overlap all. Okay, so we'll do block for the trace, which we'll go back to. And we'll do set debug to for one frame, I guess. That's what we want. And then the selection sphere, we'll set this from hidden in game. Whatever. Go away, Steam. Leave me alone. Okay, let's try again. This time we should be able to see what we're doing. What is happening? It's going the wrong way. It's going way up there. Why are you going up there? That's interesting. Oh, I guess we need to set its forward location first before we force it to go there. Okay, that's kind of stupid. How I did it is stupid, that's what I mean. Well, at least we have selecting working. Okay, we'll fix that up. I'll take a look at what we're doing wrong here. Well, I know what we're doing wrong. We're forcing it to move there, but we're not. Doesn't make sense how we're doing it. How did it work when I did it before? That's interesting. What was I doing? Oh, okay. I had a function selection trace. What is that called, though? Oh, it's called on tick. Right, that makes sense. Okay, I missed it because it's really small. Okay. So we don't need that. I guess I should put my glasses on so I'm not blind. Ah, the struggles of VR. Alright. So we'll go here, and we'll get rid of this. Well, not get rid of it, but we'll add a pin. And we'll call a function, we'll add the function selection trace. Call that. And what we will do in this is we will get the world position of this. Get world location, rather. We'll add a vector, and we'll do get forward vector. We'll multiply this. Multiply it by our selection distance. Oh, yeah. Float, not an integer. And then we'll do line trace by channel. Oops, that's not the start. This is the start. This is the end. And if we hit something, because we are going to... No. We'll do... And we'll just split this, forget it. Cast to base ship. So if we hit a base ship, or if the cast fail, okay, right. Okay, so we'll get our selection sphere, set world location. Another one, set world location, connect this to there. No. Yeah, that's fine. Do get actor location. No, we're gonna do hit location. Yes, we'll do hit location. That way it doesn't mess with you if you select big ships and then little ships. And if the cast failed, meaning we hit nothing, then I believe we're just going to... Then right, we'll set it to the end location. Okay, now I don't know if that'll work right away. I feel like something's gone wrong here. And it's here. Like, do we need this? I have it in the other project, but I feel like it doesn't do anything. This is why you comment your stuff, folks. Oh, well, I did do it differently in the other one. It was pointing to increase the distance, but I didn't like that system very much. Yeah, so that's just to... So we don't need this. We just need this part. Alright, so let's test this out. Should be able to move around and select ships and increase the size of this thing. So we'll need to put the increase distance on tick, but we have that. We'll also need to put that selection sphere to go back when we're not selecting, but we can select this ship now. So can we increase the size? We can decrease it, but we can't increase it. Okay, so we'll have to look into that. Must have screwed that up somehow. Alright. Well, we can select ships, so that's good for the most part. So I guess we'll just have to put a selection trace. Yes, failed. So yes, so when we do select, whoops, when we do selected, we want to set this back. Set world location. We want to set it to the left motion controller. Get world location. I guess we should also set world scale 3D to 1. Okay, now let's see why this didn't work. Yeah, because we're just getting it, we're not multiplying it by anything. That's pretty stupid. I don't remember what I think I wanted it to be one thing, but it doesn't work that. Oh, okay. I know what I wanted, but that doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine this way. Alright. So that should be good. No, we don't want this necessarily. We only want, whoops. We only want that if there's no valid selected ships. Because we don't want pointing to just start selection mode if there's valid ships. So if there's no valid ships, that's selecting. We don't really need that, but yeah, we'll just get rid of it, I guess. Okay. Alright, so next I guess we can add movement, right? Yeah, why not? Okay. So base ship. So what was it? Event move to we did? I guess we could give that an input of a vector. Why not? Vector. Location to move to. Alright. Okay, so we'll do tick. Okay, no, first we're gonna do set. We're gonna set a bool. Has movement orders. Set it to true. Distance. make sure there's a minimum distance that they can travel. I guess 800 might be a bit much. We'll just leave it for now. So if the location is greater than that, we'll set that we have movement orders. We'll promote to a variable move to location. To move to. So tick is valid. Has movement orders? Yes. Get. And we're going to use the same code here, actually. It's greater than. Okay, so okay. So what are we doing? We're going to add our custom event. I guess we'll put this on the movement check, actually. Yeah, that should be good. So false. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to okay, so we're going to set our speed. We're going to make it so that it increases in speed if the distance is above a certain amount, and it decreases in speed if it's not, or it doesn't have orders, or it's in range, or whatever. So we'll name this speed, forward speed. We'll name it current speed, which will be 0. No, we'll name this max movement speed, max forward. And we'll give it a value of just 1,000, I guess. Why not? Actually, that's pretty damn fast. We'll give it a value of 100. Okay, so we want to set this if it's false. We're going to interp f_interp2, and we're going to the target will be 0, and the current speed will be the current. Delta will be get world delta seconds, and then the interp will be acceleration interp. And what will we give it a value of? I guess 5, just so it goes fast. Just so we can see what's going on. Okay, so that's good. That's what we want there. And if the distance is not greater than the distance check, then we also want to do that. It's the same thing. Reduce the speed. So we'll just name this reduce the speed. So now we need to increase speed. So we're just going to copy this, except the target will be the max forward speed, except I feel like this should be a lot less. It should be half. So we decelerate faster than we accelerate. I know it's space, but whatever. Forward thrusters. So we just set current speed, and I think that's actually kind of it. Well, we need to do the actual movement. And we should also do set has movement orders so that if it's within range, we don't have, yeah. Okay, so that's that. We're going to name this actually movement check. And that's set movement speed, and then we're going to name a new custom event. Call it movement tick, which is what the other one was. Name this. So it'll check what it's doing, and then it'll actually do it. And this should be pretty easy. We'll just get the ship mesh, add local offset, and current speed to X. That's it. We do need rotation, is what we need. We do need rotation. Okay, so we'll do this. I guess we can do this at rotation here. Yeah. Yeah, we'll set the rotation here. Or should we do it down here? Because then we could do a check if the rotation, and we could set the rotation speed based on. No, we'll set the rotation speed down there, but we'll set the rotation here. So set vector rotation. And we'll do R interp 2. We'll get the current rotation, get vector rotation. And the target will be the lookout rotation for the movement orders. Whoops. World delta seconds. Promote this to a variable. Rotation interp speed. We will make that change based on your acceleration, right? So if you're going faster, it's less, and if you're going slower, it's more. It should help ships deal with getting stuck turning and stuff like that. Find look at rotation. So we'll just get rotation to move to. Target. Get actor location. And you know what? We're going to put a select on this. Select. And we'll do has movement orders. So if we do have movement orders, we'll do that. Otherwise, get the current rotation and just set it to that. Okay, that's good. So now we need to actually do giving orders. Okay, so we'll go back to our pawn. We'll do R trigger, motion controller right trigger. So if it's pressed and there is a selected ship, pressed, then we'll do move to, no, I guess we can't do it that way. For each loop, I guess, okay, fine. Cast to base ship. And move to location. Location to move to is going to be selection sphere. I guess get location cast to is there a random location in I thought there was like a random location in sphere or something. Is there not? Okay, fine. I'll just do get world location, and we'll do plus vector split array index times, whoops, no, I guess it's fine. No, we're not doing that. We're not using integers around here. I don't like their kind. So we'll do, I guess we should base it off the ship's size, but we're not going to do that because we're lazy, so we'll just do 350. We'll change it based on size later, one step at a time. And y-axis, I guess. And we could do like a divides by 0, and or not a divides by 0, check if it's even, and put it on one side. If it's not, we'll do that later on. We'll just check if, okay, fine. Guess we don't even need that step. Okay. So now it should tell our ships to move to this location. And we should be good. I'm sure there'll be some problems and they won't work at all, but, one step at a time. This looks right. Alright, let's check it out. I just realized the problem. We're telling them to move to the selection sphere. So we're going to be ordering them to move to us. But we'll change that in a second. For now, let's worry about this. We need to change this too to be constantly moving. Well, movement works. Other than them moving to us. But, it's pretty cool. I love the work this guy does. It looks awesome. Alright. Okay, so let's make the buttons. Okay, first we need to fix them so it increases the size, and then we need to change it so it's on the button. So change this to 1.05 so it increases. We'll change it to 1.1. We'll change this to 0.9 so it's a little bit fast. Actually, it's annoying watching this stuff, sorry, but I think that's right. Okay. Okay, so that's fixed. So now we'll change the distance to on tick. that'll be for increasing the distance. So now let's do decrease. And I think that should be good. Okay, so I'll add a new component. Call it attack location. We'll get rid of these buggers. Okay, and we will, what are we doing here? So we'll move to not selection, attack location. Is there really no random vector and random vector get? Could have sworn there was a get random vector in box closure. Maybe this requires box closure. I don't see why it would. No. Okay, whatever. It's just in my head. Okay, so what are we doing? So yes, so the attack location. So we need to move the attack location now. So we're gonna need to do some more on tick stuff so we can increase the distance. Make a new float, we'll call it attack distance. We won't use selection 1 just for the sake of causing problems. So we're going to bring these down and we're going to get some gates. I'll just copy these gates, I guess. It's not too good to put so much on tick, but it's just pretty primary functions, so it should be pretty fine. So we'll do our face button 1 will decrease the distance if selecting. Is that how it is here? Okay, I did it upside down, but that's fine. No, it's not fine. I need button 1 above button 2. It just makes sense. Even though button 1 decreases, it doesn't increase. Alright, so if selecting is true, we'll open this gate to increase. And you know what? We'll just be lazy. Attack distance, get, set. Oh, we actually want this to be false, not true. Right, because... No, you know what? We're not even going to do that. We're going to do is valid. Is valid index 1. Okay. And then we'll do a new function called attack trace. You don't really need to use a trace for it. but it'll let us visualize it, so we might as well just copy and paste our selection trace code, but change this to the right motion controller, multiplied by attack distance, and then set world location, the end of the trace. I guess I should do is attacking, and then, yeah. Attack ordered. Set world scale 3D to 111. Set visibility to not visible. So selection sphere, we will make blue or whatever. I guess green. And attack sphere is red, it's fine. Okay. So if we point is when we want to start. Well, I guess select ships and sphere can do attack location, set visibility to new visibility. I guess this could be command ordered. Well, command ordered, and we'll name this command trace. Okay, so let's see if we can go in game and point around and order ships around and whatnot. Okay, so first things first, increase size works, increase distance works, increase size, increase distance. So let's see if we can select all of our ships here. Yeah, and our attack trace, it appears, did not appear, but whoa, my god. Yeah, it looks like the attract trace circle. Where is it? Is it behind me or something? Below me? No. I guess we forgot to set that. But we can still order our ships to move around, and they move in a nice formation. Look at that. They do move a little fast, and they rotate really fast, so we'll change that. But for now, I think that's pretty good. Not too bad of a start. Alright. I think we'll take a little break now. It was pretty eventful. And I'll see you guys later.